Hey everybody, real quick note. We have shirts available now over at slashloot.com. SLASHLOOT.com. Check us out over there. Go under the Nerds Domain tab on the left, and you should be able to find both our Nerds Domain icon that you see at the top of all of our pages, and also our upcoming Masks of Gnarltep. The art for that on a shirt as well. We encourage you to go over there and check it out. There's also tons of other shirts over there too. You should check those out as well. I can't say enough about the guys over at Slash Loot. They're great, and we really appreciate them helping us out by putting a shirt together for us. So, with that, I'll let you get back to your show.
You better button your brain, you're in the Nerds Domain. Come on in, it's about to begin.
Hi everybody, I'm Matt.
I'm Shirley.
And welcome to the Nerds Domain podcast. Today, we're with Zach Woolf from Major Spoilers. Say hi, Zach.
Hello, everybody.
This week, we're going to talk about Nerdtacular. This is a little different because we don't normally talk about events that we're at. Well, we will do this again in August for Gen Con, but we are in beautiful Snowbird, Utah. We came out here for the Frog Pants Nerdtacular. Frog Pants is a network I think we've talked about a couple of times before. They are a series of podcasts. It's a network of podcasts, I guess you could call it. And Scott Johnson does that. And then every year he puts together a fan event out here in Utah. And this year it's at Snowbird Ski Resort. We met Zach last year at Gen Con.
Yep.
Zach, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do over at Major Spoilers?
Major Spoilers, I'm on a couple of the podcasts over there. The Major Spoilers podcast, we cover news about comics and pop culture and give us some reviews of comic books come out every week. I'm on Top 5, where we just list our top 5 favorite whatever of that week, cars and movies and pretty ladies and stupid fart jokes. Also, on Munchkin Land, we play Steve Jackson's Munchkin. Really fun podcast. We just play a couple rounds of that. And Zach on Film, which is actually a new podcast we just started recently, where I have to watch movies I've never watched before and dissect them from my little background in film from college.
Yeah. So you're listening to our podcast every week, and you love our Nerds Domain on the Criterion Collection, right?
Oh, obviously. I love Criterion. Actually, the next movie I'm watching is Criterion.
Right on. So we do. We do a podcast twice a month on the Criterion Collection. It's kind of our uneducated view of these movies that are supposed to be important to film. We just did Lord of the Flies, which have you seen it?
I've honestly not.
You should watch the 63,
67,
I don't know, version. It's impactful. It's a heavy movie,
really,
especially towards the end, but it's good.
Have you read the novel?
I have not, but it follows it very closely. There's a couple of spots that it differs.
Cool.
According to one of the other guys on our podcast.
Yeah, I actually just picked up the book, so I was going to read it.
And then we're getting ready to do Modern Times. That'll be out 2 weeks from today.
Sweet.
I'm sorry, today is the 7th. You guys might be getting this a little late. Depends on how the internet at the hotel cooperates with us tomorrow when we try to upload this. And then we also do, I'm sure that the podcast people know about this, we also do immediate movie reviews. So Friday, we'll go see Pacific Rim. We'll review it immediately and get it up by noon on Sunday. That way, if you wanted to see it and you weren't sure,
that's awesome.
There it is. If you saw it and you want to argue with us, you should send us an email after listening to our podcast.
Kanye West said it's the best movie he's ever seen the other day.
Oh, that makes me feel
high-flying review
that makes me wonder if it's going to be worthwhile or not.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he's put in Oscar contention.
Right.
I agree. I haven't seen it yet, but I think every category.
I think it's going to look beautiful. So it doesn't really matter if the story is going to be great or not. But Guillermo del Toro is going to make this beautiful.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
So, and then we also do a What You Doing, where we just talk about the kind of stuff that we're going through, the games, the podcast apps, movies, that kind of stuff we're doing. So this one is a little different. So we are at Nerdtacular. Told you about it a little bit earlier. But let's talk about the specific things we saw. So you were not on the producers panel, but you are technically a producer for Frog Pants now, right?
Yeah, technically, I guess I am.
So what was the producers panel like, Shirley? We'll pull you in since
thanks.
It's just,
I, I thought you were totally going for Zach. Yeah, it was good. 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 It was I don't remember it. It was 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
That
Fair
sounds horrible, and I can't recall anything.
It was kind of like the major producers for Frog Pants getting up and talking about just answering questions.
Yeah.
I got a question in, so you'll have to check out that one. This is all going to be available, I believe, on a YouTube channel, the Frog Pants YouTube channel. I'm sure they'll put out some parts of it as actual podcasts. Did you get anything out of the producers panel specifically?
Man, there's just so much information from
So much that I don't remember.
It's so interesting to see the collection of producers that Frog Pants has. I mean, you have comics and movies and humor stuff and tech and games, and just to see how all those people come together and talk about really what they love. And I think a big part of what the producer panel was talking all these people saying, this is what we do now, but it wouldn't matter if this is what we're getting paid or not. It's like,
yeah, it's all about passion.
It's all about what we love. And I know a lot of people up there still work 9-to-5 jobs, which honestly blew my mind. I knew a lot of those people are on big networks. On big networks. And I was like, wow, I didn't understand all of them.
And you work with Major Spoilers, and Steven is still doing like a 9 to 7:30 job.
I have no idea how Steven does it every week.
I don't either, because I always get like at 11:30 I get a tweet that says editing now, got 3 hours left, and I'm like,
yeah,
but it's 11:30. When do you sleep?
No, he doesn't. Yeah. He's a vampire.
I can see it.
That's an exclusive right
here. A ball vampire.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you go to the games and media panel?
I did.
We ended up skipping that on accident. We got stuck playing some games.
I did.
You made the games one.
Yeah.
I got stuck playing Munchkin Booty.
Oh, heck
which
yeah.
I was this close to winning. I had Davy Jones in my hand and I laid it, and then they trashed me and went from a level 20 to a level 38. Wow. I was like, so.
I love that panel. Did you say you were able to make it?
Yeah, I was
on
both of them.
Yeah. I found it really interesting because they took a lot of what we're going through as a new podcast, media wise, and putting out there things that we could look up, things that we could go. They were talking about a little bit of more. They touched on affiliations and things like that during that, which led me to look up Voodoo and start looking up affiliations that could possibly be for our site.
Yeah.
So, and then they expounded upon that in the podcast panel.
I caught on some of the media. I came in a little late for that, and essentially what that one was about was what media is out there and what's it going to look like, and that's a little above my interest and my pay grade, really. But then they started talking about what good is out there. And, I knew Game of Thrones. We all know Game of Thrones. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Actually, I've never seen Game of Thrones.
You've never seen any of it?
No, see, here's the thing.
What is wrong with you?
You don't have to.
I know I don't have to. I know I don't have to. But I heard all these good things about the book series and the TV series. I was like, I'm going to read the books because I wanted to do that. And I finished the first book. And so I feel like I could watch the first series now.
Okay, no, so you've read the book at least.
I have read the first book.
We haven't read the books, but we've seen the first season and a half. And it's brutal. I mean, watching it on screen is brutal.
I can't imagine.
But I'm really impressed. And then they named a bunch of shows, and I'm like, watching that. And then they were like Longmire, and I was like, I've got that in my queue. And House of Cards. Have you seen House of Cards?
No.
Man, what are you doing?
I'm watching Breaking Bad.
Okay, fair enough.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah. House of Cards. Kevin Spacey is. Yeah. Amazing. It's up on our site as a review, but I cannot stress enough, Netflix knocked it out of the park with that.
Totally.
Hemlock Grove is okay. The rest of the development's good, but it really requires the first 3 seasons to really grab that.
Have you watched this?
I have. I haven't finished the 4th season. I'm 8 episodes in.
I haven't watched the 4th season yet.
But House of Cards is so deep. It's like Game of Thrones. What did I say? Game of Thrones meets West Wing.
Interesting.
Because it's all the politics of the Capitol with murder and death, and it's just and the darkness, and it's so good. But
Sweet.
But they mentioned Game of Thrones 1,000 times on that.
Everyone was
there was a lot of good stuff that came out of that one. I'm looking forward to rewatching that to take better notes.
Totally. I thought the gaming panel was really good.
Yeah, I wish I would have made it to that, but
I play very little games. I play a couple board games, and I just got a new computer, and so I've been playing Borderlands 2.
Okay. And you'll be picking up Bears soon.
So,
Bears actually I pulled up on my phone this morning.
What do you like about Borderlands? Like, I've seen it,
Yeah.
and I've kind of wanted to play it, but I don't...
I mean,
don't-
it's dangerous because do you like RPGs?
Yes.
Okay, so first off, the art in this is just
Isn't it?
fantastic. It's so
Okay.
stylized. It's amazing.
I'm gonna be caught.
I
love the art.
And the problem was when I downloaded it from Steam and put it in because I have a new 27-inch iMac, and so I downloaded it from Steam. And I was like, it looked like crap because it put it at a 640 by 480. It was I was like, this is horrible.
What?
And I played it for 30 minutes like that. I was like, something's wrong. I was like, oh wait, turn it to 4K and you're fine.
Yeah,
there's just the upgrade trees are really fun to go into. Guns are super cool. Then there's just so much you can do. I started a character and then I wanted to play a different character. So I've actually played 20 hours, but it's really fun.
Right on.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So you don't play WoW yet?
No, I don't play WoW, but that's what I really liked about the gaming panel was people talking about how passionate they were for WoW, and everyone loves
We sat
WoW.
down at dinner or lunch today. We went down to the Tram Club just to get appetizers and drinks.
Cool.
And we ran into these other guys, and they're like, "Hey, come join us." And we started talking. The guy was like, AIE.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, we already have accounts. Maybe we should go join AIE. Because he made it very clear that it's all about meeting new people, and then you get here and you see them and you get to know them even more, and then you feel more included. I don't know how you felt this weekend. We kind of felt like we were on the outside a little bit because we don't know anybody. And I know you. We met you at Gen Con last year, and I know Steven, but Steven doesn't know us. And everybody comes up and talks. I'm sorry. Everybody comes up and talks to Steven.
Yeah.
And it's fair for him not to remember most of those people. I don't have a problem with that. And same thing with Rod. Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe you shouldn't drink that beer.
Yeah, no kidding. Same thing with Rodrigo, and that's fair. But we didn't know a lot of people, and we started to get to know people and talk to people, and met people gaming, and it's all been great because we're getting to know people. So AIE sounds like a good way to do that.
Yeah.
Tadpole would be the other way, listening to the morning stream live, but I just can't. I don't have that option at work. So.
And kind of staying with that same topic, as my full-time job, I've got a full-time job. I work for the Chamber of Commerce, and we're all about building better economic growth for the Indianapolis city I live in. But one thing it's taught me is coming to conventions like this, it's all about networking, getting to know each other, and being able to support each other in the environment and lifestyle that we're in, so that we can, accomplish our dreams. Like a year ago, we would have never thought about doing a podcast like this. So I think that coming to Nerdtacular has definitely solidified that for me. And going back to the games, we were talking about games. On the panel, the ones that I want to like look up is The Last of Us. Have either of you played
I've not played it, but they've talked about it on
it?
Dystopic Boys, and you should check out Dystopic Boys podcast, radio, and Last Frequency. Those are both really good.
Yeah. The Last of Us, Vampire Weekend, Dragon Box.
Vampire Weekend's a band.
And
Vampire Weekend's a band.
So I need
But no,
to
you should totally
decide
look up
that.
Vampire Weekend because their new album is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
Shirley's really
band.
into music, and she'd
I
never
love
heard
music.
Coverville before.
I have honestly never listened to it.
What are you doing?
I don't know, but I'm totally downloading it when I get home.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm downloading it tonight.
You should download the Travel, because he did a road trip one just for this weekend. He
seriously?
put that out right before this weekend, and it's got some good covers in it. One of the questions in the All-Star Trivia was answered in the podcast we just listened to, and she was like, "Isn't that the one we just listened to?" I'm like, "Yeah."
That's awesome.
So to kind of move forward, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. And then what's Red Wedding?
It's an episode or part of an episode from Game of Thrones. I don't know anything more than that. And
Okay, well then never mind. It's not because all my notes are mashed together.
Yeah, it was a big deal, and I
I
completely avoid Game of Thrones spoilers at all. But I know something happens, and I want to know. But
it's about Red and Wedding, and that's as much as I know and want to know right now.
Yeah.
So we're not going there.
And then we went from the Games and Media panel to the All-Star Trivia, which was Scott Johnson and his team of. Who knows? Terpster was on it.
It was Terpster and Veronica
and Wendy.
No, who was on the end?
Scott's sister.
No.
No, was that a different panel?
That was a different panel.
See,
altogether.
everything's just bleeding together.
Who was on the end? Was it Dills? Oh no! It was either Jury. It was Brushwood, Brian Brushwood.
Oh yeah, it was Brushwood. Yeah,
who was an amazing magician. We'll get to that in a minute. And versus Randy Jordan, who works at Blizzard, and that's amazing. And he had Tom Merritt, Justin Robert Young,
and Brian Dunaway.
Oh, this is where they...
Yeah,
okay,
and the questions were really good. Did you know Brian Ibbett is he does trivia stuff?
Yeah.
Seriously does it, flies to Austin, Texas for the trivia challenge.
Seriously?
He's
a
really
Trivial Pursuit challenge?
It's a barroom trivia thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's really into that, and he made up some really good questions with some good art and some good video, and I really enjoyed that.
That was good times.
After that, there was some music last night. Did you go see Andrew Allen and George Hrab?
I did.
What'd you think of Andrew Allen?
Andrew Allen was awesome, because if you love jazz music and you like nerd stuff.
I heard there was some boodle deedles in there.
There was some doodle deedles. Yeah.
So Andrew Allen, what all did he cover last night?
Oh gosh, Mario, Pokemon. I believe he did Game of Thrones. He's got two records out that I'm aware of. Yes.
One is called Smooth Federation, which is all Star Trek jazz covers,
which is probably one of the highlights of
great,
the con because Scott Fletcher did a rendition of the Star Trek theme and dedicated it to Scott. Scott, and read all the tweets and stuff. It was hilarious. It was wonderful.
And then he has another one called Free Play, which is jazz covers of video game music, which that was really cool too. I haven't listened to any of that, but Smooth Federation sounds amazing.
Yeah, Free Play is really good.
Yeah. So George Hrab, I don't know anything about him.
I just heard about him before I came up. He does the Geologic podcast.
Okay.
And he played a lot of music last night, and he was very good. I really liked his music. He's really smart, and so if you like that kind of like a story music with funny stuff in it, definitely check him out. He was good times.
So what's the Geologic podcast? Is it just
honestly don't know.
Geologic stuff?
No, it's not. I don't believe it has anything to do with geology
or anything like that.
And then this morning we got up bright and early. Were you there for the morning stream?
Yeah.
The morning stream is Scott Johnson's morning show Monday through Thursday, usually with Stump a Trek Nerd and the first segment, along with news and celebrity poop, and then they do a cover. And then they come back and they have a different guest every day. This is all up on the website. I did a review for this morning stream a while ago. Have you listened to much of the morning stream?
I generally listen to it about once or twice a week, just depending if I'm actually in the office at work or not. Okay.
You have a favorite segment?
My favorite segment is Steven Schleicher's.
Oh yeah, good answer. I really like everything that Wendy has to say, even when it doesn't apply to what I'm doing or what's going on in my life. I really like all the interesting stuff that comes out of her. They also have Chinbeard, who is... I really ought to know this. Don't know his real name, but it's Chinbeard on Twitter. He's really into props, and he makes props. And,
oh my gosh, he looked amazing today.
He also does a lot of fitness stuff. So yesterday,
the Fitness Geek, isn't it Brian?
No, it's not Brian. It is the Fitness Geek. Yesterday he was in Mass Effect outfit.
Yeah.
And then today he was Tony Stark with just a shirt on with the glow behind it and one arm.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
He looked awesome. He looked awesome. Awesome. Wow.
It's a good word.
Yeah. And then Brian Ibbett and Scott Johnson do that, and they bring on Justin Robert Young, and they have...
who, by the way, I think is like one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
And you know what? I talked to him earlier, and he is so friendly.
He is.
Wouldn't shut up. But I asked him a couple of questions, and you know what he does for a living? He goes and facilitates team-building exercises for Go Game. That's all he does.
That's amazing.
So he flies all over the country and just does events like scavenger hunts and that kind of stuff, and that's awesome. And then Tom Merritt, and he's awesome. I love Tom Merritt. And Nicole Spag, they all come on at some point during the week. So we got to listen to that. And then it was really nice seeing like the whole panel up there. Steven Schleicher's on there too. I guess you mentioned that too, but the whole panel was the whole group of them were up there except for the Trek Nerd who couldn't make it. And it was good to see them all and listen to them all talk about something, and it was really, really cool. And then we had the live film sack Had you watched Search for Spock before this weekend?
No. Never have.
I have seen it once, but it's been decades. Shirley, did you watch Search for Spock?
No.
Okay. But they did a Search for Spock. It's just your normal film sack. But then instead of just audio clips, Scott Johnson had video clips, which were pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah, they're really funny.
And then there was a costume contest and Prizeocalypse, which was awesome. We got some cool stuff. I got a shirt. And Shirley got the art of the WoW trading card game.
Oh yeah, I saw you.
And then a license plate thing and some miniatures. All of it was really cool.
The thing is, I love the art on the cards, and I play the game.
Yeah.
The TCG card game, and the book is just amazing. So
awesome.
And
take a look at it.
We were all hoping for that laptop. Doghouse Systems gave away a $2,800 laptop, and I looked at the specs. I've looked at the specs before. They do amazing. Like, there you have no problems whatsoever with any game on that thing.
And they hinted at something?
They hinted at something with Blizzard. They've been hanging out with Blizzard lately, so I don't know what that's going to be, but anything that they can put out will be awesome. After Prizeocalypse, there was some other stuff, but we went to a podcast panel, which Steven was at.
Yeah, did you get to go to that? I had to.
Yeah.
I had to be at.
So here's what I got out of
nice.
it. Don't expect to make money.
Yeah.
Don't expect to make money. Networking is important, but don't expect to make money. And they weren't really down on it. They were trying to help and give information.
Yeah.
And Steven, every time I've ever emailed Steven, he's seemed very standoffish, and I just assumed it was he gets 1,000 of these emails every day.
Yeah.
He's very busy. He doesn't have time, and he doesn't want to seem rude, but he's got to say something. Every time I've talked to him this weekend, it's been, oh, really? That's cool. Why don't you send me an email when that goes up, or when you get that done, or I'd be happy. That's great that you're creating content, and he's also completely supportive of everything that's going on. He's just very reserved about it, which is, that's perfectly fine. It's just a very different.
And I got a lot out of it, as in to where it's all about content. It's all about social media.
Yeah.
And then
that was a big thing we
and
pulled away.
basically, as long as your mouth is open, your business is open.
Yeah, and that was a big thing I pulled away from. I guess it was the producers panel was. Podcasting and social media are not two separate things. If you podcast, you must social media. It has to be part of your thing. And I don't think that we've been treating it that way, which is just something we have to change. But it's something that I really pulled away from, at least from that talk. And listening to, in the podcast panel, listening to Steven and Nicole Spag and Spagnolo and Mark Spagnolo, who run the Wood Whisperer stuff, and then the Terpster, who I knew he was into some sort of new media thing. I didn't realize he runs a company, and he's the CEO. He's the CEO of the largest British YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah.
And like one of the top 5 in the world, kind of thing. And he's the CEO, and you never guess that from the way he acts. But he had all this insight and really supportive, and had all these great ideas, and I really was happy to see him there, and that was all great.
And it was a very varied panel. You had vlogcasters, you had Terpster, which dealt with YouTube,
and you had 3 people or 3 groups in different time frames.
Completely.
Terpster just hit 2 billion views.
That's insane.
The Spag's been doing it for 12 years, and they're just now really getting off the ground where they can both work on it.
Yeah.
And Steven just formed an LLC because you guys are.
Yep.
I'm crossing my fingers hoping to get off the ground in a great way, in a bigger way. I mean, you guys are doing a bunch of great stuff, but really making it a company that brings in money and makes enough to sustain itself.
Yeah.
Which I know it's always a struggle. It's always going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
So how do you, when you're working with Major Spoilers and doing the things that you're doing, do you see that as forming a career and staying with the company, or are you still just Zach the intern?
Well, the obviously joke is always will probably be Zach the intern, Zach the young kid. I think we're all at Major Spoilers hoping that one day we can make that our full-time jobs, because we have a lot of plans and we have a lot of stuff in work that we would like to do, but we don't have time to do it. It's not physically possible because we all have to work other jobs to pay rent and stuff.
Right.
And so it's still a big passion project, and we value everyone that supports us right now through their donations, and our sponsors, the few sponsors that we have. But I mean, it's really just it's what we like doing, and we have fun doing it, and we enjoy meeting fans and creating content for them to listen to and enjoy.
So
that's what it is now.
10 years from now, are we going to see a Major Spoilers production Zach directed film?
I mean, if you listen to Zach on film,
that's where you're going, isn't
right?
it?
Yeah, I have a project this summer that I'm behind on because I have a real job and I've been starting this freelance stuff where I'm taking all the stuff that I've been learning and starting these little small projects, but. Obviously, one day they want me to cast him in a movie.
Yeah. So is that something that you guys are planning for the far future? Is movie production?
No, that has not ever been brought up. No, that's a lot of money.
I can see Critical Hit. I mean, I listen to the podcast and I'm like,
I don't know if they could
capture.
I don't know if they could capture that same magic because Rob and Brian are very unique people. I like both.
Absolutely.
Of them. Steven is very unique and plays a very unique character that is not him.
No.
I mean, honestly, Matthew is Matthew. I can't put it any other way.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. He's
No.
just you'd have to get Matthew to play Torque, and that would be weird.
Right.
Although I guess an animated feature would be awesome because then you just get them
totally.
to voice it.
Yeah.
And then Adriana again is just a very they're all everybody's unique, and then you lose the voice of Rodrigo. Unfortunately, because he's such a big part of that.
That thing in their head.
Yeah.
What we should do is we should just get the old D&D cartoons and have everybody dub over
them.
So that podcasting panel was really good. Shirley took like 3 pages of notes.
Good.
And
I haven't heard anything bad about it, and they were talking. The panelists were talking afterward. They really want to push Scott to actually make it like actual panel.
I think I want to talk to Steven and Scott about that because I have some ideas that I'll talk to you about after we get done here. I don't want to leak anything. I don't drop the cat out of that bag. So, but I think that there's a lot of potential there for. Not necessarily the Frog Pants Network, but the support, or the greater reach of the Frog Pants Network to facilitate a lot, and it would be really great to see that happen. So tonight you saw John Nealio and Same Sex Mary?
Yeah.
How was that?
John Nealio was cool. He's kind of, I guess it's actually called filk music. Steven told me that today. It's like folky, sci-fi.
Is this the same thing as the Future...
Future folk?
Future folk?
No, not quite. Future folk are actually aliens from planet Hondor.
I thought they were filk though as well.
I think they're probably considered that.
We have to watch this movie. Steven reviewed it for major spoilers. It's called The Future Folk, or no,
The History of the Future Folk.
The History of the Future Folk. It's a movie. It's only $10 on iTunes. I looked it up. It's a movie about these 2 aliens that come to Earth and fall so in love with music that they start doing it. They're like supposed to survey the planet for conquering.
Yeah, they're going to destroy it.
And they end up, and like the general comes here, and he's like, this music's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
they
don't have music on their planet of Hondo.
Yeah, so they end up playing music instead.
Yeah,
that's kind of. And
they're an actual duo that has been playing clubs in New York City for like 5 years.
Oh wow!
And so then they just started to make this movie.
And this movie, and before it came out in theaters, it was up on iTunes.
Yeah,
which is weird, but that's something iTunes has been doing lately, and I guess it
So
Steven
is it
said
out
it was amazing.
In theaters or did it go
they're
direct to DVD?
touring it around.
Yeah,
I think you can buy the DVD, and you can buy it off Amazon or rent it off iTunes.
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon too. Because I'm pretty sure it is.
Cool.
But
I know they're.
But yeah, they're making the rounds and
doing screenings.
Yeah, I believe they're actually in Denver right now.
In different cities.
It's only like 12 hours from.
I know. Yeah.
So that was all good. So John and Same Sex Mary, did you like?
Same Sex Mary was really cool because I'm a big music fan. Like that's my thing for a long time. And they're like a really cool. I guess you would classify them as like an indie rock band.
Right.
So if you got like some like some British rock music, you can check them out. They're really good.
Okay. Well, did you do anything else this weekend that wasn't all the panels? Because there was a lot of panels, but
oh gosh,
you played Bears.
played Bears last night. That was really actually. I was in the middle of a panel and I found it on Amazon. And I almost bought it, but I was like, I'll just wait till like on a real computer. Or something.
And you can click the Major Spoilers link.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can click our link. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. I'll double click. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we played a couple games of games of Munchkin. We played the new Munchkin Legends, which
How's that?
I really like it. It's a lot. Has a lot of flavor from the base set of Munchkin. It has all the same races and classes of the base Munchkin, but it has a lot of cool legends, and not just like Norse legends or Greek legends like I thought it was, but it's like urban legends. They have like sewer gators and like weird stuff like that. There's just a lot of cool card interactions. I think it's really fun.
Cool.
That's very cool.
So did you play any other games?
Bears and Spot It.
Yeah, that was on
No, we just played a couple games of Munchkin. Played some with some Kickstarter backers that help support Nerdtacular.
Okay.
And we played with them today, and then played yesterday.
Right on. Shirley, did you play anything?
I think just Lords of Waterdeep. We played that like 8 million times.
It's a really good game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I never win, but hey, I won for the first time this evening, so
awesome.
I was very excited about that. And then you played War Command.
I played War Command. We were going to have the guy on tonight. It's currently being Kickstartered. It's kind of like a chess game with cards.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
Interesting.
I don't have anything bad to say about it. I'd like to see it played more, but it looks like what they're trying to do is make an actual card game and then also make an iOS app.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, an app, not
iOS.
necessarily an iOS.
Right.
It was fun. The guy that I was learning from there was nothing wrong with him. He just didn't seem like he understood everything about it.
Yeah.
But the owner and the guy that's doing it, I talked to him. He was up in the vendor hall for a little while.
Cool.
He was really cool. So I got a press package from them, and I'm really looking forward to it. Steven talked to him too.
Cool.
He was up there while I was talking to him.
Awesome.
So they were really friendly, and there was that. You bought a shirt.
I bought my Torque shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I love Torque.
Good. Torque is fun.
I bought the free play
What is it?
cards that Brian Dunaway did. Did
Oh, no, I haven't seen these.
And he signed them all, which is awesome. And Brian Dunaway is on FilmSack. He also does Comics Coast to Coast. His art is fantastic.
It's unbelievable to come here and see how many talented people, not just from producers, but just fans.
Yeah.
They're unbelievably talented.
So I was really excited about that. And they were even cheaper than what they said on the thing, and that was awesome too. So I was really happy about that. What else did we do? I will say this.
We met the group from AIE.
AIE is a gaming guild. They're across a bunch of MMO games. World of Warcraft, Star Wars.
I think they're on pretty much anything.
They're on most everything, yeah.
Even Steam, apparently.
Yeah.
Really?
And they're Scott Johnson and Tom Merritt and Veronica Belmont, I think, are the founders of it. And they are really big about playing WoW and a bunch of other stuff, but they're super friendly. They're a really tight-knit community, even though there's like 6,000 members.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good to hang out with them. I will say this. We drove from Indiana to here. It's like a 24-hour drive.
That's nuts.
There were...
I like driving. It didn't bother me.
Iowa, Nebraska, and Wyoming were very uninteresting.
Yes.
It was just very boring. Except for when we stopped in Wyoming to go to the bathroom at the rest stop, and it said, beware of rattlesnakes, and I wasn't sure I wanted to get out of the car.
No.
But
Not at all.
When we got into Utah, the mountains are beautiful. The hairpin turns that we had to come down on the scary as crap. But this ski resort is gorgeous. We're at Snowbird. I honestly don't know what kind of rates they have and what they charge, but it is just gorgeous out here. It's middle of summer, 72 degrees all weekend. There was a little bit of rain, some rock slides. But there is so much to do out here. I guess I've never been to the mountains, let alone.
So everybody would stay there.
I don't know if I've ever. I've never been to the mountains, let alone a ski resort. And if it's here the next year, we're coming out early because we want to experience Salt Lake and everything it's got to offer, and the ski resort and what it's got to offer. It's just gorgeous out here, and almost everybody we've met, staff included, has been so nice and helpful.
Yeah.
When did you guys get out here?
We got here evening of Wednesday is when we came in. So we had all Thursday to go to Salt Lake City. Went to a local comic shop, local game shop.
Oh, very cool.
Cool.
Got some stuff there and
No
just hung
taco
out.
time?
Yeah, no, we almost have to Taco Time in Wyoming, but we didn't.
So we're on the way. We're on the way here, and I love authentic Mexican food, but I also
doesn't?
like, I'm weird and I like Taco Bell, and I saw Taco John's, and the first time I saw the sign, Matt was like, "No, we can't go to Taco John's."
I thought it was Taco
I'm
Time.
like,
I thought it was Taco
"What?"
Time.
I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
So we were driving for a long time. I think the last exit that we could see that we saw Taco John's at is the one that we stopped at.
And it was the same
And
town
he
as the
finally
universe of
realized-
Wyoming.
Yeah, he finally realized it was Taco Time. And
Well,
not
and
Taco
they had
John's.
this big giant sign, and the guy we're riding with, he was really nice and quiet. He's part of AIE. His name is Jason Wallace.
Yes.
He was like, I don't really eat Mexican or cheese. We're driving, and we passed this giant sign that has these
buffalo
these
wings.
buffalo wings, and he goes, "I'd eat that." I'm like, okay, well that answers that question. We're going right there, and the food was really good.
Really?
Potatoes ole. Which
Oh,
are
so
really,
you did eat Taco John's? Okay.
No, yeah,
Oh
Taco
God,
John's,
yeah, Taco
yes.
John's is amazing.
It's not in Indiana.
Really?
So disappointing. Not in Indiana. It's so good, and I'm really
Potato
glad we
lays
stopped
are
there.
like crack.
Yeah.
I mean,
Utah has been great. It was easy enough to get up here. We've had a lot of fun. I've met people. I've had a blast. It was great meeting everybody on the Frog Pants Network. I was a little starstruck the first day because they're all people that I
put
look
their
up to.
pants
But
on
the
the
more that I
same.
keep hearing, the more that I keep hearing them talk, it's what they're telling me is, don't be starstruck. Just look at us as another guy that does the same thing you do. We just do it a little better because we guessed that it started earlier.
you're right.
And so far, it's been great, and getting to meet people. And Scott Fletcher smelled me on the way up here.
Awesome. That's good.
That was awkward, but everybody has been awesome.
Yeah.
From top to bottom. So, Zach, do you have any parting thoughts about anything at all?
Oh,
Wisdom.
anything.
Any
Oh,
movies
goodness.
we should see, books we should read?
Oh, I can do movies and books. Actually, I'm reading Cloud Atlas.
Oh, we
did you
just
see
saw
the
it.
movie?
Dear Lord, is that not the best movie ever?
Oh my gosh!
Oh
I
my
did-
God.
Careful on spoilers, guys.
Okay.
No, yeah,
Like-
I won't spoil anything. It's
Yes,
too good.
I loved it. I just thought, first of all, I have a little ADD, and I'm like, it's amazing because it's just enough of action and the stories that are different from time to time, but the fluidency, I don't even know if
Yeah.
that's a word.
No, it's a
But
word.
no.
It's a word now.
Yeah, fluidency.
Like, what did you think of that from a film student
Oh,
perspective?
God. It is the way they wove those stories together, and really just like cracking you over the head at the beginning, and just go boom, 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 all these stories at once,
Exactly.
through like 2 centuries of time,
Yeah.
and then you break them down eventually, and you get these like vignettes. And
Yeah.
really, when you think about it, it's unbelievable. It's like 2.5 hours long, 2:45 or something. But there's 6 stories, and so really only each story only gets like 30 or 40 minutes, but they still feel so
wow.
personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They seem so
It
much longer.
doesn't feel like that at all, but once you realize it's 6 stories and they're completed and they're only
Wow,
40
I hadn't thought
minutes.
about that, yeah.
And I'm an emotional movie watcher. Like I will watch things from an emotional point of view, and see if it has something relevant to the times that we're in and has some social impact. I'm not very mechanical when I watch it. Matt has taught me to look for tropes, look for things that are the same throughout different movies, and I never used to watch movies like that. But when I sat down and I watched Cloud Atlas, at the end of it, I was just like, this is amazing, and it's filled with so much humanity and things that are relevant to even now.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but the ending is all of them and just Clyde. I was just like,
I wanted to tweet
so
many.
oh my God,
How does
it's
the
so
book-
good.
how does
lines
the
from
book
there.
stand?
So I'm reading the book right now.
Yeah,
I'm about
how's
halfway
it standing
through.
up?
And it's different because if you don't know, so Clyde Atlas, 6 stories interwoven in point in time. The book is written 6 parts, cut in half. So you're starting. The very beginning is the ship, the journal, and that goes for about 45 pages, and then it goes straight into the composer, and then it goes to the writer, and then it goes to the old man writer, and then Soon May, and then Zachary. and then it does the complete Zachary story, and then it finishes the last half of all those stories. So they're not interwoven; they're just in chunks. And so it's the way the Wachowskis and Tom, I forgot his last name, took the story. They completely chopped it up, and they made them, I think, more interconnected than the book is. I'm only halfway through, so the interconnectivity of the stories isn't as apparent as it is in the movie, but it's still really good. You get a lot more backstory. It's, I still recommend the book. It's very good.
How big is the book?
Probably about, it's 6 times it's probably about 500 pages.
Okay,
that's not so bad.
You're still, it's like you're reading 6 short stories, really.
Yeah,
right.
And so I think that's really good, and people should definitely check that out. If you like indie movies,
History of the Future.
I actually haven't watched it yet. There's this new director. His name is Shane Carruth, and his first movie was Primer. And if you've never seen Primer, it's gonna make you boil your brain, and it's gonna throw it against the wall because it's this time travel movie that'll just rip your mind apart. And it's unbelievably well done. He made it with $7,000.
Oh wow!
He's a mathematician. He decided he wanted to make this movie, and he just released his follow-up. It's called Upstream Color, and it's different, but it's beautiful. And it's on, both these are on Netflix. Okay. So if you have a Netflix account, watch them, and they're wonder.
Color and Primer.
Yeah, watch Primer first, and then Upstream Color, because they're different, but they're really good. Yeah. I think.
Are they connected in some way?
No, not at all.
Totally
not at all.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting to see how his style kind of shifted.
Okay. Any apps you can offer?
Recommend? Ooh, apps. Twitter. I use Twitter app a lot. I just downloaded Minecraft Pocket Edition on my iPad, and I suck. I have no idea what the frick I'm doing.
Awesome.
I have no idea what I'm doing. And then
right. my 9-year-old son will come over and show you how to play that.
That's what I saw. Steven's son. I go over to his house when we record, and he's playing. He's like, I'm like, surely I can do this. No, I can't.
Nope.
I played for about 45 seconds. I was maybe 2 minutes. I was like, I need to go to the internet and find out a little wiki page. I don't know what the freak I'm doing.
Right on. Podcasts. Anything you're listening to?
Or
let's
not listening to that you want to.
Well, that's the problem. I came here and there's so many good shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And so
I will suggest, and I know this is a horrible suggestion, if you have the podcast app, I know so many people poo-poo it.
I
time
like
and a half
it.
or double time.
Yeah.
Speeds podcasts up so much.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people do that.
I hate to say it, but I do it to major spoilers because at one point I was like 4 episodes behind on that.
Yeah.
A week and a half behind on major spoiler or on morning stream.
Yeah.
And I'm months behind on Munchkinland because I can't get it back into my rotation.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. It's just so time and a half or 2 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, time and a half you don't lose much. And it cuts down all those and those pauses.
Totally.
It shoots right through.
Totally.
Them, so.
Let's see. I listen to This American Life because I really enjoy that.
Right on.
If people like old-timey radio stuff, we've been listening to the Red Panda.
Yes, that's
the
right.
Red Panda. Red Panda is really good.
You reviewed Red Panda number 3, and I kept thinking I should call in. I should call in and review it. I should call in and review these. And I was like, I'll get around to it. And I never did. And then I'm like, wonderful. Why is Steven not reviewing this? He loves Red Panda.
Yeah.
And then you did, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
Cool. Monkey Brain has put out some good stuff.
Monkey Brain is amazing. I think they kind of saw. Well, there's a lot of writers from other DC books, like Chris Roberson and stuff, and I think they understood what's possible with digital comics. Kind of people, and I think they understand the market of digital comics.
Freaking cheap.
They are all. I mean, they're not all 99 cents, but most of them are 99 cents.
Red Panda, all 3 of those were at 99 cents.
Yeah,
had the original writer for all of them, so it kept that same voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know how far into Red Panda you are,
very far.
But it sounds like it should.
Yeah.
And I can hear it in my head, and it's perfect. Have you listened to any Blackjack Justice?
No, I haven't. I heard that's good too.
Blackjack Justice. I haven't watched and listened to any of the showcase stuff, but there's one called. There's one showcase that I was told I had to download and listen to, and it is called something. Anyway, Blackjack Justice is. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's all pulp detective stuff.
Pulpy stuff, yeah.
And the two main characters in that are really good and well acted. Summer Showcase, Spotlight. No, please don't play. Spotlight on Icebox. It's a horror.
Oh, cool.
And again, it's only like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool.
What else? The Nerdist Writers Panel I like. It's a podcast. It has a lot of writers from TVs and movies and comic books and stuff, and they just talk about writing and their processes, and I enjoy that a lot. I actually started downloading the NSFW podcast from Brushwood.
Have you bought
and
Night
Justin.
Attack or Night Attack 2 yet?
No, I'm going to. The first time I ever heard of them was last night when Brushwood and Justin
Did you have any
did
Ruin 'em
improv.
this weekend?
Huh?
Ruin 'em? Are you not familiar with Ruin 'em?
No, I'm not.
Ruin 'em is a honey...
No, the wine they're making. Did you try it?
Do you know the history and the legend of Ruin 'em?
I know it's a follow-up to Mangria.
Did you know that the same kind of wine cocktail was really popular in Rome right before the barbarians came and burned Rome to the ground?
I did not.
Did you know that the American Indians used to make the same kind of cocktail right before the Americans showed up and ran them out of the country?
No, I did not.
Did you know Matt's bullshit?
So, a year ago, NSFW did a scam.
Mm-hmm.
Right after 50 Shades of Grey came out, they said, we can do this. And they did the Diamond Club. They went to the people that listened to their show and said, write us a chapter. So they took all these chapters with very little in common except the names of the characters.
Yeah.
And mashed them together into a
God,
book and
that's
called it
amazing.
the Diamond Club. It spent 5 weeks in the top 5 on iTunes. It made them something like $30,000, which they had no intention of you making any money.
Right.
So they then turned that into a party at Dragon Con for their fans.
Nice.
That's great. So it was a scam the whole time because in the 1970s, the same thing happened. There was a romance novel that was written as a joke. And
Oh,
it sold
I didn't know that.
so well. And they were like, we can do this.
Yeah.
So they did it. So Ruin 'em is the same thing. They've made all these legends about it. And if you ever see Brian Brushwood or Justin Robert Young say, I don't know anything about Ruin 'em, can you tell me something? And they will run you through all this stuff. We talked to Brian Brushwood during the meet and greet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like, did you know that here in Utah, that the Native Americans here in Utah, right before the Mormons showed up,
It was hilarious.
they used to drink a wine brandy cocktail. And that's when the Mormons showed up and chased them out. And he's like, yeah, I hadn't heard that. And she's buying the whole thing. She's like, are you serious?
This is so
That's
cool.
funny because I talked to Justin today at lunch, and we were just talking about his show and stuff, and he brought up Ruin 'em, and we didn't. None of that came up. We were just talking about the business of him doing this
I
wine.
wish he would have told you like a wholly different story.
I haven't
would've
tried
been
it,
awesome.
but I hope it's good. It's really strong. It's like 20%.
Yeah, it's 20%.
Whew. But
Yeah.
it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of them just having fun with it. And
Totally.
it's made by the same people that make Adam Carolla's Mangria.
Right.
And that's kind of awesome, too, because that's a really tried and true company that can do that.
Yeah.
So, NSFW is good stuff, and they...
Yeah, I mean, did you guys watch them do their show last
got
night?
caught in playing games.
Oh my gosh, that was the first time I ever heard him, and I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Did you meet the Ad Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ad
Dragon's
Dragon's
back. Because right after South by Southwest, the Ad Dragon was forced into retirement. They lost the game at South by Southwest, and the Ad Dragon went away. And so Justin Robert Young started doing like these cold, emotionalist ad reads, and then doing it as though he was reading a script, and Brian had the same script, but Brian didn't know what he was doing. He's like, funny you should ask that, Brian. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
So they're really good. NSFW, they can be a little explicit.
Oh, I got a sense of that last night at the show.
But they're really good, and I really like them.
Are they FSO?
Justin Robert Young.
And
Have
Tom
you
Merritt.
listened to any of that?
No, but that's on my queue to download too. I
Okay,
heard people
no
talking
spoilers.
about it.
No spoilers.
Heard people talking about it. I didn't know what it was.
I will
my
just say
I saw the description,
that
like,
the San Francisco Federation
It's going to be the Vulcan
is
velocity.
going all of the way this
No,
year.
Vulcan velocity.
I you know what? The Tom Merritt and Justin Robert Young in that show particularly are so creative, and Tom Merritt's ability to answer my question on the fly was perfect.
Nice.
And I'm really impressed by the two of them and what they put together there.
I
because
wanted to ask them if it was scripted.
they do script some of it, but a lot of it is just jargon.
Wow.
So FSL, if you guys aren't familiar, even though it's up on the site as a review, FSL Tonight is a fake sport. It's the Fantasy Sport League featuring science fiction and fantasy, literary and movie characters. So you have the Vulcan Velocity, which has Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, along with some other Vulcans. So awesome. And the San Francisco Federation is new in the top league this year, and it's Picard as the captain with Riker, Troy, Worf as Big Man. Teams? But so there's all these characters. Last year they had the Lannisport Lions and the Winterfell Direwolves. And first episode, there was some sort of buyout of a contract, and Ned Stark ended up with the Lannisport Lions. But because of the contract, he couldn't play for them, and it was as though he were dead to the league. And it's just so good.
That's amazing.
I'm really impressed with everything they do there.
Yeah.
And
it's just a lot of creativity.
Yeah, it really is. And you let Justin Robert Young talk, and he won't shut up.
Oh, no, he's wonderful.
It's great. So, let's see, you did movies, apps, games. What am I missing? Books. Nothing.
Books.
That's it. Anything else great going on that you want to pimp?
It's summer, and I like that. So
Amen.
Get over to Major Spoilers and read.
No, in real. Go to majorspoilers.com if you enjoy pretty much anything we've talked about here. So we cover.
Yeah, the top 5 is my favorite, honestly.
Top 5 is really fun,
and I'll tell you why. It's because you guys get personal and talk about yourselves. I love comic books, don't get me wrong.
No, yeah.
Munchieland, Critical Hit, but I've learned more about the people in top 5 and gotten to know them, and I feel like I know them.
Totally.
Because of top 5, and it's great. Like, I know Rodrigo, and I know that he and I are the same person about the time we graduated from high school, because he loved all the same comic books I did. And he, and it's great to see that I can, get to know you guys through top 5. And Biscotti's, for the record, are in fact a cookie.
Oh, are they?
You can tell Matthew that we support him in that.
I'm not going to tell him that.
I'm not
going to tell him that at all.
It's not going
So yeah, you guys all should go over to Major Spoilers. It's all great. All their podcasts are great. They're big into comic books and pop culture.
Yeah.
And I can't say enough about the site.
Thank you.
I really love. In fact, if it were not for Major Spoilers, we wouldn't be doing this. Honestly,
thank you.
It's everything that they do, and Zach on Film is great.
Good. I love that show.
Even though, sometimes you guys watch The Manchurian Candidate and say bad things like there were bad parts and it was too long. No, it was great. Every bit of it.
It's just weird.
It was.
It's a weird movie.
Really was.
It's a weird movie.
But it was so good. And
I agree.
Jessica
I think it's a
Fletcher,
wonderful movie.
Fletcher was creepy.
Hold on. Aren't there 2 Manchurian?
Yes, there
this
are.
is the old one.
We watched the old
with
one.
Angela Lansbury,
okay.
and she's evil.
What?
And it's so weird.
It's a wonderful
she does
movie.
a really good job.
Yeah.
Well, then I need to watch it.
And it's got, what's his name? The singer. Frank Sinatra is in it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. It's really good.
Okay, well, that's on my list.
So, yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I lost my stuff.
No.
There we go.
I didn't say very much because I'm kind of right there with you along with podcasts. Matt is the one that introduced me to podcasts. So being at Nerdtacular for the first time this year, I found like a ton of podcasts, especially
gosh.
Veronica's and...
she's wonderful.
She's going to get into Ladies Elite. I know she is.
Wendy.
Wendy is on Thursdays. I think
Thursdays.
Yeah.
Definitely going to get into that.
So... Yeah.
And Spagnolia's.
Spagnola,
yeah, they're cool people.
Yeah, they really are. I actually contacted Spagnola we met somebody through networking.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Do you know anybody that does apps?" And I was like, "Yeah. Nicole Spagnola does, and let me give you her information." And she was all like, "Oh, that's great. Thanks for thinking of me." I'm like,
yeah.
Why wouldn't I? You made the Nerdtacular app. It looks awesome.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
So, all right, well, that's it. So that's it for us tonight on the Nerds Domain podcast. You can always send us an email at nerdsdomain@gmail.com or catch us on Twitter. I'm at Quiet. Shirley is at SNed70. And Zach, you're at Z Woolf. Is that 2 O's?
It's with 2 O's. My family can't spell.
You can also you can also follow Nerds Domain at Nerds Domain. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdsdomain. We want to thank Josh Shop for our music. And if you enjoy our podcast, we encourage you to give us a review on iTunes and let us know what you think. We'll talk to you real soon.